Joining us right now by, I don't know what this is, Remote Connect, Zoom, something like that. It's Andy Shatley with us this beautiful day today here. It's May 6th, 2020. The day after, of course, we ran the story yesterday, but this week has been a busy one for you. You announced that your campaign for Jonesboro mayor. And just tell us a little bit, what has the reception been like? And tell us also why you decided to run.
Well, the reception has been unbelievable. The reaction to the video, as far as the announcement goes, and the phone calls and messages just started pouring into my inbox of support and say, "Holy cow, we didn't know this was coming." Or some people said, "Aha, we saw this coming from a long way off, and we knew you were going to do this one day." And I knew that it had the potential to take off, but I had no idea that it was going to be the response that we had. It was a bit overwhelming, but I love it. It was great, and I accept it, and I'm ready to go. The one of the reasons why I chose to run for mayor this year is the timing was just right for me. It was right for my family. I had heard enough conversations. Finally, I was just tired of hearing those conversations. People continued to come to me and said, "Andy, we think that you're probably going to be the next potential leader in this town, and the timing seems to be right here. And so this is my hometown, and I want to see the best for this town. And I have some great ideas and great vision as far as how we move forward in Jonesboro."
Exciting time and a lot of things happening right now too. In fact, maybe it seems like this year we've had more things happen in our lives that have been newsworthy than ever before. So we had a tornado, we've got the pandemic, and so we've probably got a lot of economic times ahead that are going to be crazy too. Definitely a weird time. What have you taken away from this year? How has it kind of shaped you, and what would your approach be to some of the stuff we're probably going to have to deal with coming out of this year?
Well, I totally agree with you as far as the hits that we've taken to Jonesboro, but the most encouraging and the most inspiring thing that I have seen is our resiliency to be able to respond not only to a tornado, but this crisis epidemic that we're going through, this COVID-19. The relationships that we have in Jonesboro, specifically, the small business relationships that we've had, and you've seen that in several of the different events that would happen with people sticking together, people putting people up in housing during the tornado, people feeding people all the time in this town. And so seeing people stick together, that tells me that we will not be affected economically as bad as some other parts of the United States because of how awesome this town is. And so that's very inspiring to me moving forward as somebody that is wanting to be involved in local leadership. That tells me that this is a place that I want to invest in long term, and I'm willing to go to bat for a long time.
It's your home too, so I know that you've got an interest in seeing us succeed here in Northeast Arkansas and in Jonesboro as well. Tell me a little bit more about the issues that matter the most to you and some of the stuff that when you're taking the job that you want to focus on.
Well, some of the issues that matter to me is just on your daily life. Being able to go outside and in a safe town is important. I think for people to want to relocate here, they want to have a sense of safety. And so that's always going to be an issue that should always be the number one issue is Jonesboro needs to be safe. Families need to be able to feel like they can walk down the street. Children need to be able to feel like they can play at the park or walk on the sidewalk. So safety is very important. The other thing that's very important to me is the experience in this town. What things are there to do? Why would somebody come to Jonesboro to relocate or to spend their money on the weekend? So the experience in this town is very important to me, and I want to make sure that Jonesboro is always a place that people want to come to and have a great experience.
Tell us a little bit more about your political beliefs. I know that it's I believe, a nonpartisan race, but I know a lot of folks were online asking too. What does he believe? What side? And so, just kind of tell us where you stand in politics.
Yeah, absolutely. My public record is out there as far as voting in a primary. My entire life, I've voted in a Republican primary. However, this is a nonpartisan race. And I would hope that the local level government would be insulated from a lot of the national and political issues because of how close the local government is to the people and understands what the people need. So certainly that is my history of voting in the primary, but I look forward to working with anybody and everybody in this town that has great ideas and data driven solutions.
I told you that I wanted to ask a question about who would be someone that you said inspires you. And so that's a question I wanted to send ahead of time so you might have a name in mind. Who would you say is somebody in life or in your life that has inspired you?
So that list is very long. I would have to go all the way back, obviously, to my parents. My father who is an unbelievable man, somebody who I've looked up to my entire life. Anybody in this town that knows anything about the Baptist ministry or such knows my father, Curtis Shatley, and watching him and how he carries himself has given me a great example of where to head to. My mother, I tell everybody she's an angel, and nobody talks about my mom because she's never done anything wrong. And she is a prayer warrior, and she prays for me daily. We talk every morning on my way to work. My parents have been huge influences in my life. I want to fast forward a little bit because there's somebody locally that I have met recently that you want to talk about being a mentor and somebody that I look up to and I just really appreciate. And her name is Gwendolyn Zukarek, and she is leading the hub downtown out of the First Baptist Church Care Center. She is on the front lines of solving the homelessness issues in Jonesboro and re-entry into society and finding shelter and meeting the needs of people in town. And I know she probably doesn't want to shout out, but I haven't had an opportunity on several occasions recently to talk with her and to find out and listen to their mission and the work that's being done on a daily basis. Those types of stories need to continue to be told in Jonesboro because that is an example of some of the phenomenal people that make up this town.
I think that's really cool of you to mention that as well, because there's just a lot of stuff happening in the world, and for the people sometimes that are at the worst end of their luck. It's I think as a citizen, it's a great place to help people. You help everybody when they need it the most, and they can come back around and help you too. So I have a lot of respect for that answer. That's important. So is there something out there, decision-wise, maybe that's been done in the current administration that you would do differently, or is there something you've seen that you thought was a really good decision or a good move that was made in our current leadership?
Oh, one of the things that I'm passionate about is an active lifestyle and health. I'm come from the healthcare profession, and so what's going to be one of my focuses is to do everything I can do to provide the infrastructure for an active lifestyle and active transportation. And 2 years ago, the city put together a pedestrian connectivity master plan and put together a steering committee. And I was on that steering committee, and I got to work with about 5 or 6 individuals to put together our connectivity master plan. And we worked for several months, and that has been adopted, the One Jonesboro master plan with pedestrian connectivity all throughout town. So that was one of the most the most fun things that I've been involved in, and also the most forward-thinking projects that I have seen the current administration done. As far as something I disagree with, that is not really something that is going to come across right now. I mean, eventually those things will probably come out as far as the campaign, sure. But I don't really. I just want to talk about the things that I see us doing in the future.
I got a lot of respect for that. I appreciate that. Still had to ask, of course. Still got to try to get get the reporter, job in. Right. So, tell me though, Jonesboro, passionate for you, and I may have sort of asked this already, but what would you like to see come to our town or happen to our town? What would you like to see changed? What's the next step for Jonesboro under Shatley administration?
Uh, I le- we kind of touched on that safety part of that thing,
Right.
and certainly supporting our police and fire departments and the needs that they have. That's going to be number one, and that's going to be imperative as we move forward, because we can't build on anything else. We can't put infrastructure in place and sidewalks and parks and things to do if this is not a safe community. So that's always got to be paramount. But making Jonesboro not just a great community to raise a family, but also a destination place that people feel comfortable coming here and spending their money and spending their weekend. That certainly helps with our economy, as far as not just the residents that live here, but the visitors that come into town to spend money in Jonesboro. So I certainly want to do things that encourage and entice people to want to come to Jonesboro and relocate to Jonesboro.
Before we go, I got to ask, because I know some people in chat will want to know. Can you tell us about the two dogs on the wall back there? What are we looking at?
Holy cow! I didn't even. I forgot. I seriously, honestly, didn't even forgot about the dogs on the wall. So that is a painting of. That's a hand painting of our two boxers. That's Paris and London. They are sisters, same litter, 1 year apart. And one of my daughter's school teachers actually painted that and gave it to us. And that, yeah, that's our two boxers, and they're hilarious. So yeah, I totally forgot that that's in the background. But we are huge. We actually have 4 dogs here. We are big time dog people, we support the Humane Society, and we've done a lot of different fundraisers for them. And so, yeah, if we could fit more dogs in this house, my wife and kids, they'd probably have 10 dogs in this house.
Oh well, no complaints. I'm sure from animal rights people, they always love to see the dogs find nice homes, and I think I can actually see a dog in the background, so that
Yeah,
may have been on cue.
that's one
That was
of them.
perfect. Andy Shatley joining us today on NEA Report, talking about the exciting bid for mayor of Jonesboro and the announcement that came this week. Is there something else that I maybe didn't ask that you'd like to tell the folks out there? I know the election's coming around the corner. Anything on your mind we didn't touch on?
No, one of the things that people continue to ask me is, well, we're concerned about your experience. I mean, what do you do, and what is your background? Well, my background is that I graduated Arkansas State University with a biology degree, and then I graduated from physical therapy school with a master's degree in physical therapy. I started working at St. Bernard's in 2005. I've been with them ever since. And I'm the director of sports medicine. My position is the director of sports medicine, and excuse me, and has been since 2008. So, leadership wise, people are already starting to ask me, well, so what precludes you, and or what qualifies you to be at a leadership role? And I can tell you that. Since 2008, we've had the most successful sports medicine program in Northeast Arkansas. We went from seeing probably 10 or 15 athletes a day to, we see hundreds and hundreds of athletes throughout the year, and we take care of all the schools in this area. And the leadership position is about identifying talented people, putting them in situations of being successful, and then motivating, inspiring those people. And that, if you'll ask anybody that's worked on my team in our clinic, you'll hear those same stories. I'm always wanting to try to help people improve, because at the end of the day, that helps the team improve. And one of the things you'll see, I didn't even realize I was rolling into my segue, but my slogans for my campaign are trust, transparency, and teamwork. And that I bring that. Those 3 are based upon my pillars of success in the last 15 years, that if the people that are working beside me don't trust me, then how are we supposed to move forward? And transparency wise, I've put into place some things in our clinic to where everybody sees what everybody's doing. Everybody understands what the numbers are. Everybody sees, we have a joint spreadsheet to where everybody can see what's going on. And when people understand and they are informed with what's going on, the relationship improves, and then that teamwork starts to happen. And when all three of those things come together, then you really take off, and the sky's the limit. And so I'm trying to take those three concepts and move them into a local government.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and I'm sure we're going to be talking to you some more between now and this November. The filing period, I think, is in August, so we've got a few months before then. But of course, it looks like, at the very minimum, the looks appear that it's going to be you and the mayor of Jonesboro currently, Harold Perrin. As we've not heard an official announcement yet, but we have been kind of indicated too that he is believed to have decided he's going to run. So we'll see how that pans out. But until then, we appreciate you for joining us today on the program, and for for being the first to help me debut the new remote guest system. I'm so excited how it worked, and thank you for being patient with me before we got it to work too. Appreciate you.
Have a great day.